All right, good morning. Holy moly, look at everybody here. David, Francois, Patrick, Jason, Michael, Alan, Everett, Arturo, Andreas, Craig, Rongamer, Mark, Dan, and NWC. Aloha. Good morning, everybody. And look at Tesla pre-market dropping. Yeah, so amazing. 70% of the time, the statistics said we'd see a drop. And Netflix dropping too. Imagine that. I mean, everything feeling frothy. We need a pullback. And, I mean, expectations, despite all the guidance suggesting we're not going to do so good, you know, setting low bar expectations. Like I said, you've got to really throw the bar down and really hone, really rein in those analysts to get their expectations down. It's a really tough job as a CEO, and if you do that, then you beat the earnings. Then but and then you subject yourself to lawsuits too. So it's a very fine line you've got to walk to be able to do this. And certain people have been really good at it in the past, like Jeff Bezos, historically been pretty good at it. And but he stepped aside now, and you see what's happened with Amazon's stock price. Stock price management is a skill. It's not just a lot of CEOs get hired for their stock price management, and it's about controlling the news, controlling the narrative, controlling the expectations, and then crushing earnings when they come out. So it's one of those things, and we're seeing Netflix and Tesla unable to wow the market is what it looks like so far. You have to excuse me today if there's any glitches or anything weird. I'm using some setup where I'm on my phone through, to wire it up to my computer. You can see the lightning storm that's going on right now burned out the cable modem. So that's awesome. I had to go to Best Buy right after this. It was like, can I make it to Best Buy and back? No. So I jerry rigged this thing up, and we're going to roll with it, and then I'll go get a modem after that. So anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss, past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, and fun. Hope you have fun this morning. Hope you have fun today. If you're not having fun, what's the point of this whole big thing? You only get one chance at it, remember. So it is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument, all right? Don't buy things from other gurus. Don't take trades that people tell you to take unless you believe in it, all right? You've got to make it your own trade, don't just copy people. You're going to lose money if you do that. People told me that for a long time, and it didn't really hit home until I really, really understood it. And if you don't understand what that means, don't copy people, then you shouldn't be trading with real money. Let's be honest. If you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's somebody that can tell you what to do, but and you got to hire them so they have a fiduciary duty to take care of you. So, all right. Looking at the calendar, probably didn't refresh this because we got consumer confidence coming up for Europe. And then we've got existing home sales coming up for the U.S. at 10 o'clock. We had unemployment claims and Philly Fed manufacturing at 8:30. Came in light on the Philly Fed. Came in low on the unemployment claims. I don't know. I don't know. You don't hear about a bunch of layoffs. So, and we churn 250,000 to 350,000 every month, every week. That's just the churn when you have 300 million people, or 330 million people. 80% of them working, 70, I don't know, whatever the current workforce participation rate is, 60, 70%. So 200-ish million people. You have 200, 300,000 idiots out there that get fired every week. I mean, it's just the way it is. All right. Anyway, those idiots go file unemployment. So here we have nothing on Friday really to speak of, but next week is FOMC week, so be careful. That is coming down the pipe. Now, I'm sure everybody's here to hear about Netflix and Tesla. So it's kind of Netflix making the big losers list here. And getting slammed back down about 30 points so far. Looking like 6% pullback. We'd have to jump down time frames to kind of see that. And zoom it up, zoom it up. There we go. Back to the bottom of the box. That's makes sense. I mean, we were consolidating here just a few days ago. We spent a long time consolidating. Tried to push up. Yeah, look at that. We just came back to the consolidation. Potentially finding support there. And we'll make that final push up to 500. 500, 510. Top of the gap from all the way back like 18 months ago. 19 months ago. Whatever it was. Right back here where we gap down. We're probably going to go up and retest that. Now, what happens after that? We may go on a big deep retrace. Now, is it going to bounce right up there today? Probably not. It's probably going to come back toward the bottom of the box. Now, it could hold right in this zone where it consolidated for several days, but it also can come right back down here. We did come down here and bounce off the bottom of the box. Went on that run, couldn't make it to the top, coming right back down again. Typical pattern. Work through this box. And I don't really expect us to go down below the bottom of the box at 410. And I don't really expect it to come out of the top of the box up here at 510 until we fully absorb everything out of that gap. All right. You may be able to hear the lightning. Thunder. Thunder. What comes before the lightning? The thunder. Anyway, quote from Cars. So, Tesla. Well, I've been calling for a pullback, and this is not big enough yet. Now, Tesla 70% of the time gets an average of 12% plus pullback, and it usually takes an average of 4.7 days. And so far, we're seeing a pullback. Are we going to see continuation? I don't know. This could be it. Like, we could just bottom out here, like whatever that was, run the number on it from the close. Looks like we had the green candle there, right down. Currently sitting at 4%. So, I mean, that's right in the realm of acceptable pullbacks on Tesla earnings. Does it have to go lower? No, it doesn't have to go lower. Can it go lower? You're sure as blank it can. So keep in mind where you are. DFS, golly, some gravel there. DFS also kind of disappointing here. Missed on the top, missed on the bottom. I mean, Tesla at least beat on the top and the bottom. They missed on gross profit margin and on free cash flow. There's more numbers to it than just these two. So they missed on that free cash flow. That was a big one. And missing on gross margin, that was the consensus, Bloomberg consensus. That's kind of where these numbers come from. If you wonder where these estimates come from Bloomberg. The estimate was for 18.8% profit margin on Tesla, and they got 18.2, which is an acceleration down, which, that's not super positive for higher stock prices. Now, look, where can we find support on Tesla? Right down here, where this could be a spot right here where we consolidated for a couple days. Kind of found support there overnight. We may come down there after the open. All right, DFS, where's that one going? Back down below the roadmap line, maybe back to the lows. It's got support right in here, and it's 5 points away at this point. That's a 20, ouch, 15, 16% down. Pre-market, that's an ouch. All right, let's look at ES and what we got going on here. Maybe starting the pullback here, not sure. 30-minute roadmap line right there. We get below that, then we have to look at the hourly, which is on down here around 45.50. And then we've got the 4-hour, which we haven't been near for a good long freaking time, since right back before my birthday. And we may get a big pullback. 44.70 on the 4-hour, and the daily is way the frick down there at 4,200. So it It goes up and up time frames. See, we're pushing below that 15-minute, then 30 minutes up next. We get below the 30-minute, the 1 hour's up next. We get below the 1 hour, the 4 hours up next. That's kind of the way the roadmap line works, from the small time frames to the big time frames. You know, this is the first indication that we're seeing a reversal of trend here. Now, if we can get back above it, get back above this consolidation right here, where we kind of found highs, we get back above that stuff, turns the bias back to higher. You know, we bounced off here, we bounced off here, we got below. This is the warning sign, all right? Now, 30 minutes is the one to watch. Do we find support when we come down and touch? If we don't, you go up to the hour. Now, you may be like, JT, what the fudge is ES? I say S&P 500 futures. That's like SPX, SPY, all those sort of derivatives of the S&P 500. This is the futures for those. I watch the futures because they trade almost all the time. We close from Friday night till Sunday evening, and then we reopen, and we're open again from Sunday evening on. So this is how the mainstream media people know what the market's doing before it opens, is from the futures. NQ. So I am kind of biased a little bit negative right now. Looking for deeper corrections here. NQ is below the 30-minute. So the 1 hour, next target down, load her up, buttercup, 15,741, and then 4 hour is ridiculously low down here at 15,300, where we consolidated for almost like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we can drop. All right, be careful. Russell is not dropping as much. This one is still extending, trying its darndest to break out. We may reject that trend line. Now, you may be like, JT, my first time here, I don't know what trend line you're talking about. Look at the high from August 22, last August. The high from February 2023, just a couple months ago. And then right now, we have this trend line, lower highs. If we cannot break above and stay above, we're probably going back down. This is small caps. If you're unfamiliar with what small caps, IWM, and that sort of thing. A lot of the regional banks are inside this right here. So we may see this reject that level. Looks like the market just opened. We have oil showing strength in the face of a crude draw, or whatever it was. I can't keep up with the numbers these days. If we can get above that roadmap line on the daily, back above these two highs right here at 77.50, probably heading on up to 80, if not 83. With 81.50 kind of being my ideal place. And if the wedge plays out that we kind of did, we would see a move up to about 84.40-ish. All right, so that one can pop. GC continues to grind up the rails here. Target still way up there, 2,200, probably out to late fall, maybe even end of the year. Bitcoin holding up well. A couple days of green. We get 3 days green in a row on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. That usually kicks off a bigger run. So this is 2 days in a row so far. We'll see what the day closes. But if we get 3 days in a row green on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, typically we see a bigger move up, continuation for at least a week, maybe two. DXY continuing to rally back up to that 180 area before it rolls on over. DHI, look at stuff actually moving today. DHI popping and dropping. Typical. That can be the extension, and we can come all the way back down to 105. ELS, a nice pop right there. And that's a sideways consolidation thing, just trading inside the range that we've had from February down to March. Till it breaks out of there, I don't know what we might see. Doesn't look overly bullish, but this is the first indication that we may go up to that 77.65, which would be right near this other high right here. funny how this all kind of comes together all the time. We may see that pop right on up here. CTLT. Catalent. Looks super bearish. Gosh, be careful. Nail. Home builders. That's freaking crazy moves right there. Freaking crazy moves. Let's see what that little pullback. Yeah, we're crazy extended. That's a leveraged instrument though. Be careful. You know what I always say about leverage. Leverage doesn't always work. There's 4 things that don't really work on my patterns. Leverage being one of them. And looks like my, let's see, my screen. There we go. Saw that on the video there. The corner of my eye, the screen got off just a little bit, making a little weird black spot. Anyway, so yeah, futures. That's right, PD. Futures eliminate gaps versus SPY. Yeah, that's kind of why I watch futures, because we don't really leave much of any gaps in there. That's why I watch, you know, the ES, the NQ, the RTY, just to get a feel what's happening before the market actually opens. NVO, oh, got darn close, potentially bouncing. That's don't watch these every day. That got really close. That could count as the bounce. We get back above 165, probably heading up to 178, maybe 186. Be positive there. Travelers insurance. That may be headed on lower. Be careful. This is kind of bearish, and the bigger correction could take us on down to 155. Watch out, please. Be careful on that one. I do not expect that to just reverse all of a sudden. I mean, it could, but this one, we're breaking above this resistance. I mean, look, that was highs for a while. Right in there. Breaking above, pushing above the roadmap line. If we can hold on to that, we can get a bigger move up. And this thing was in a heck of a correction for a good long while with plenty of opportunity. The next move up, not even looking at fib lines. We'll probably go up and test that consolidation around 45 to 55. If we can hold on to this, we'll probably come up here and then retrace and then potentially break out. It's the typical pattern. NVS, oh, look at that one go. Beautiful 3-wave move right to the roadmap line. Test the bounce. This is a pharmaceutical, so you need to be careful. It's one of the 4 things that don't always follow the pattern. 108, 112 on the upside. UAL. And look, had a pop and then a drop right back down where we were yesterday. Imagine that. Had a conversation with Jack Carter yesterday about why that occurs. If you missed it, the link for the replay is in the announcements channel in Discord. All right, Netflix, yeah. Getting slammed, we already kind of discussed that. MPWR, monolithic power, probably going to come back to the roadmap line. That was probably the, let's see if that was the 1272. It was. It can hold right here at the 529 area, but if it doesn't hold that 529, probably coming back to the roadmap line. If it does hold that 617, probably the next target out on MPR. We already talked about Discover. Just kind of chop around in this area. If it can get back above the roadmap line, fill the gap back up, but I wouldn't count on that doing anything right now. That looks really bad. Tesla, be careful. That can be the start of the correction. And I mean, it can last a whole quarter like it did right here. I mean, we went up just a little bit and then spent the rest of the quarter consolidating. Right back down to where we gapped up from. This one can spend the whole next 3 months consolidating. Be careful. And we may just retest this kind of downtrend line, but we may go on down. On down would clean this up. Like, we need to clean this pattern up just a little bit. We'll see what happens. I'll update you along the way. Pool holding above the roadmap line, but that's just consolidating. If the roadmap pattern plays out, 401, if we get below the roadmap line, we could retest these lows that we have been at not so long ago, back in March and April and June. That's That'd be what I'd watch there. Whirlpool. That's kind of funny. Pool and whirlpool. Finding resistance right at those highs. Failure to break out. All it is a slight higher high. Failure to break out. Retrace to the roadmap line would be beautiful, and then pop on up. Kind of looks like it's working on a shoulder, head, maybe do a shoulder, and then we could see a bigger move up. And finally, SMCI. That has been ridiculously extended, and a pullback would be normal. I mean, just doing that again would be normal. Watch out for that. It can extend higher, but that was a crazy move, and it's crazy extended. And I figured out how to get some information here. Let's talk about the price to sales. Let's see if I can figure out where it is on here. Earnings. Let's see. Statistics. Nope. Statements. Nope. Overview. It was right here somewhere last night. I saw it. Not on this one. I was looking at another one. There it is. There it is. Price to sales. Price to sales ratio is only 2.7. So this one could go higher on that price to sales. So one I talk about all the time, NVIDIA. I figured this out last night when I was messing around. I figured out how you could find it. So NVIDIA price to sales, look at that, 45. Anything over 20 is ridiculous, all right? Like, is due for a pullback. NVIDIA sitting at 45. That is dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. And the PE, look at that, 250. That's like ludicrous numbers. Be careful chasing this. They do not make enough sales to support their stock price right now. I don't care what anybody says. Like, they're going to $1 million. You know, they are highly likely to retrace because this is way overcooked. I mean, let's look at something normal, like something that crazy big behemoth right here. Look right there, 12.9. I mean, that's stretched, but still well under 20. A PE ratio at 30, 40. I mean, that's high flying, but it's fine. Like, that's okay. 45 and 250 is ridiculous. Please be careful trading NVIDIA. Even Tesla, like, look at this one. I mean, 11.8 and 86. All right, that's more like Microsoft. It's not too crazy. More like Microsoft as compared to NVIDIA. So I just figured out you can get those financials and those numbers right off of TradingView. So I don't have to go chase it down anymore. All right, looks like Tesla may drop more. Expectation for the day, as I kind of stated, I think we may get a correction here. Let's keep an eye on it. We got to watch where we're below the roadmap line on the 15, trying to come back above, see if we can hold it. If we break above this resistance right here where we've had highs, probably going on an extension. If we reject that and start going lower, watch out below. All right. Any questions? Give you a couple seconds. Otherwise, I'm going to go be in Discord the best I can. My internet's kind of touch and go a little bit today until I can get a new cable modem. Down at Best Buy, they do have them in stock, allegedly. We'll see if that actually plays out. Otherwise, I got to go to Casa de Bezos, and it'll be a day or two before I get that. So have a good day, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Remember, the account you save may be your own. Please be careful.